you're listening.
I just don't care.
Look, if you're 300 pounds, then you are a monster, and I don't want you to talk.
Welcome to This Is a Work. My name is David Hensley. I am the owner and creative director of Long Walk Productions, and I am here to introduce your host, David Two Doggz Hayes.
Thank you very much, David Hensley, and welcome to Rock Hill, South Carolina's only premier wrestling review pay-per-view podcast. This is a work, and with me, as always, my tag team partner, Chris, the Fashion Plate Barnes. What's going on, Bri?
This slander will not continue.
So this week we did AEW. Never has the country been so divided. I mean, a lot of people hated this show. There were problems.
Right.
But hate is a strong word for me to talk about all out.
Yeah.
I don't know. What were your thoughts? I mean, did you hate this thing?
No, I didn't hate it at all. It was a pretty fun show overall.
Yeah, that's kind of what I thought. I was talking to a couple people online, and I was like, okay, I will concede that this is probably their worst show that they've done, but in no realm of the imagination is this what I would call a stinker.
No.
I might liken it to a standard WWE pay-per-view, not one of the big four, just like say Payback, something like that.
Better than Payback.
Oh yeah, it was. Well, man, let's get into this thing. So we start out our buy-in show with Joel. We're already starting off great. Joey Janela, versus Serpentico. I don't know. Serpentico. There you go. I don't know this guy. Never heard of him. I don't have any notes on this one. I don't care. I'm not a fan of Janela. He's a fair to Midland worker. Apparently, so what was it again? Serpentico. The only note that I wrote down was why? Well, why are we doing this? We could have done this on Dynamite, and we could have moved some other things around. There's some other things that I think belong in the pre-show that, this one was not necessary. A decent match, but again, I don't care about Janela. I don't think anybody else really does. I have yet to see a Joey Janela fan club. So he goes over on Serpentico, and I gave it a 2. It just is what it is.
Sure.
Moving on into
what I really like about AEW's pre-show?
What's that?
Buy-in. A lot less panels.
Almost lot 100%. Less panels, yeah. There's not the ringside desk where we're gonna talk in perpetuity and just platitude on for 45 minutes until we get ready for the next match. We've got none of that.
God, I forgot how refreshing it was to not see that.
Yeah, right. It's we will show the vignettes 3 or 4 times, but that's about it. So moving on into our next buy-in match. This was Private Party versus the Dark Order, and I don't remember which one it was. I think it was Stu Grayson and Silver.
Stu Grayson was in.
He was in the other one.
He was in the other one.
This one was Silver. Was it Jack Silver? Not Jack Silver.
It was two guys. But I can't.
Two guys. There we go.
Well, I mean, once they were in the ring, they put the hoods on. So
That's true. We'll never find out.
It's to protect their identities.
Right. I'm not a huge fan of Private Party either. But you know what?
I like them, but I miss their old theme more.
Sure, absolutely. When they had solo cups.
Yeah. Wait a minute.
Yeah.
No.
They want the smoke, man. They do.
You're gonna get comments.
I don't care. It's the you know what? Tell me I'm wrong. Tell me this is not. We have never seen the Street Profits or Private Party in the same place. I think they're the same people. It's the same gimmick. It is. I'm not wrong. You don't agree?
I'm looking at Dave to mark down edit points.
I don't know enough about what you're talking about to know that I should be making edit points.
No, they are the same people. They are absolute Street Profits, Private Party, same people, same gimmick, same everything.
No, Private Party is actually a better gimmick.
Is it?
Yeah.
You think so?
Yeah.
What's better about it?
The presentation, mostly.
Yeah, but they didn't even do the velvet ropes this time.
Not on this time, but the presentation they had actually built up to since coming to AEW, excuse me, was better. Mm-hmm. It wasn't relying on a particular stupid prop like a cup.
Wow, you sound like you're not a fan of the Street Profits either.
I like them fine. I don't. I think the turning point in terms of being done with their gimmick overall is the cups raining from the sky.
Yeah, they did that again this past Monday.
I know it's not their call; it's other people's calls.
They were just throwing cups at them.
That's what they're encouraging when we get crowds back in there.
It's gonna happen.
Yeah.
You know it's gonna happen. Well, I thought this was a great match. Mm-hmm. I am a fan of everybody in the Dark Order.
Especially those two you can't name.
Especially those two that I don't know. That's yeah. But yeah, this was I would have put this whole match first on the main show.
Okay.
The Private Party ends up going over on this. So this is actually going to be 2 losses for the Dark Order tonight, but we'll get to that in a little while.
Spoilers.
So let's go into the show. We're going to start things off with the tooth and nail match. Man, I have now watched the tooth and nail match 5 times.
Yeah.
I think I originally had it as like a 1.5 watching it.
So now you're the expert. So what was the match about?
About 10 minutes too long. Yeah, the Big Swole. You know what?
Yes.
Big Swole versus Dr. Britt Baker DDS. I miss the days of Isaac Yankem. I don't know. This was after that. You know, we had to watch it a second time because the first time we tried to watch it, I have this terrible satellite system that's. We're not going to get into names, but it's just awful. And it kept pausing, and on us, and the streaming was terrible. So we had to watch it a second time the next night. And then, as I usually do, I tried to watch the pay-per-view a third time.
Mm-hmm.
And then it started messing up again. So I had to go back and watch it a fourth time.
Mm-hmm.
And after I watched it a fourth time, I was like, wow, okay, I've got a much different vibe this go-round than I do. I'm going to have to watch this one more again. I watched this a fifth time. I hated every stinking minute of this match.
Sounds like a trap of your own design.
I am a glutton for punishment. I think it's because I have low self-esteem, and I the only way I can compensate for that is just to punish myself. And I didn't hate Big Swole until after the fifth time I watched this match, and now I can't stand her now. Britt Baker, we've talked about this before. She's not good. You would think she would shine in a match like this, but no. Look, I like comedy wrestling as much as the next guy. In fact, I love comedy wrestling. I don't. There's comedy wrestling, and then there's what we saw, and I didn't enjoy any of it. What are your thoughts here?
I thought it was fun. I liked it.
Did you really?
Yeah.
What would you rate it?
I don't.
And
that's your gimmick.
And that's what I did. I gave it a 0.
Oh no.
Yeah. I because there was nothing in here. And there was no reason for this match in the first place.
Says you.
Well, I mean, the story was thrown together. The story was weak to begin with. But we ran it out for like 6-7 weeks, maybe even longer. Now, I did want to get Hensley's opinion on this.
Are you telling me wrestling feuds are sometimes predicated on flimsy bullshit?
That is what I am saying, and I can give several examples. But David Hensley, seeing as this was a cinematic match, I have seen online. Number one, I know it's Chris Barnes' favorite manager, Jim Cornette, has gone so far as to state that the people that filmed this know absolutely nothing about directing, lighting, or camera work.
All right, so as Doug said, when we attempted to watch this, it kept pausing, kept having to restart. Because it was live, whenever it would pause and start back, we would miss chunks of it. And I only watched it once.
Sure.
That night, and didn't get to rewatch it. So I can only speak to my memory of being frustrated while watching it because of the technical errors. But to me, this got right what the WWE keeps trying to do with their pre-recorded cinematic matches, in that it was made obvious that you're watching camera people on a location filming two people wrestling. That's all that it needed to be. There didn't need to be any wacky camera angles or crazy setups. There didn't need to be any suspension of disbelief. Like, for a second, you're taken out of the fact that you're watching a pay-per-view. This looks like it could be a short film. There was none of that. It was a cameraman followed Big Swole into Britt Baker's dentistry practice, and the two of them proceeded to have a match. And that was it. They kept it simple and straightforward, and I appreciate that.
And this was the reason that I had to watch it a fifth time, because I want to say it was Monday that I listened to Cornette's podcast when he was talking about this. Mm-hmm. And he was blasting it, and deservedly so. It needs to be blasted. But then he started talking about camera angles. And then he said the people that lit this didn't know what the hell they were talking about. Now this is where I was, okay, yes, this whole thing deserves to be blasted, but I could see everything pretty well.
Yeah, it was lit via the lights in the dentist office.
Yeah, exactly. There was obviously they had fill lights in there because just the natural light coming in isn't going to be enough. But they didn't try to do the WWE thing where either we're not using enough light or we're using too many, and it's incredibly obvious where we put them.
Right.
And also, based on everything that I've heard the two of you say on this podcast previously, I can give a fuck what Jim Cornette thinks.
Yeah.
Especially on a technical level.
Yeah.
Yeah. See, now, and this is where I came from, because this is what made me had to watch it a fifth time, because I was like, no, granted, I didn't like this match, but where are you getting this? I mean, he went on for a good 10 minutes talking about how bad the camera angles were.
Did someone slip him the swamp fight and not tell him?
Right. That's and
this is that match location and filming. Like, again, it was just like, say, like the Boiler Room Brawl. It was like they went to a location somewhere else in the arena and had a fight. It was like the football match fight. It was not, there was no attempt to be cinematic. It was, we're filming a fight between two people.
Yeah, now if we're comparing companies and their pre-recorded matches, AEW has won by a damn mile as far as I'm concerned.
I tend to agree with that.
I can think of only one of the pre-recorded matches in recent history from the WWE that I thought was actually well done and enjoyable, and that was Cena and The Fiend.
Right. Now, they've had other things like, well, you said it yourself. There was some boiler room brawls.
But again, it's like they didn't try to make it like an episode of Sons of Anarchy, or it's like they didn't film it differently as they would have anything else they were doing. They filmed it like it was a hardcore brawl, just that they pre-recorded it and started the show with it.
Yeah, and as far as that goes, I didn't see anything wrong with it. Mm-hmm. Now, what they did, let's just talk about it. So,
what's the matter? You didn't like the part where she stabbed her? She stabbed her. She stabbed her. She stabbed her.
I will give Britt Baker this many props for stabbing herself with a needle. As far as I can tell, it looked like she actually stabbed herself. If she didn't, you worked me. I don't know. What do you think? You think she really did it? It looked like it to me.
I didn't get to see this part.
Is it when the needle went into her leg?
No, see, when we watched it, they were brawling, and then it cut out.
That's right.
And when it came back, I can't remember, what was the finish? Big Swole.
Big Swole punches her through a diploma.
No,
that
happened.
Oh, that's right.
The gas mask ending. That's what when it came back. That's what it was on.
She knocks her out with the laughing gas.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I didn't get to see the needle part.
But the now the match starts out with Big Swole coming in and going up to reception where Rebel is there.
Yeah.
And she disguised her voice, man. Oh, okay, I'll get Dr. Baker. It's okay, fine. Now, and if we would have continued kind of down that road, but we went into some weird areas. She ends up beating up Rebel, pulling her shirt off for some weird reason. And then she starts looking in one room she went into. There was blood on the dentist chair. And then she goes into another room, and there's a bunch of chattering teeth.
Mm-hmm. No, she looks in. There's a cabinet she looks in, and it's just filled with little plastic chattering teeth.
Right. And that's when Britt Baker comes around the corner, and they start their match. It goes on and on and on, and at one point she does a hip toss in the hallway. It took it pretty good. I'll give you that. What else happened there? Britt Baker ended up Big Swole pretty much handed the diploma to Rebel.
Earlier, she also put a diploma over her head too. So
right.
So she distracts. Yeah, she distracts her again. But she's like she forcefully shoves it in, and so I forget. Was that Britt who took it?
No, that was Rebel.
That was Rebel. She took it all confused and held it, for the spot of when Swole just punches straight through it in her face.
Now, and before that, she had she had grabbed a dentist drill and tried to,
And I heard someone on commentary make the Running Man joke. Is it safe?
That's all. That's the thing.
Might
about
have been Taz.
The commentary. Boy, this must have been a tough one for them. All they can do is crack jokes. I mean, what else? You can't do this seriously.
I wouldn't expect them to.
And then she grabs the flossing, the swish water, and sprays it against Rebel, who's trying to run back in to interfere. And Rebel sells it like the Naked Gun scene where the bad guy throws a pillow at Frank Drebin, and he sells it way too long. Then at one point, for some reason, Britt Baker grabs a real drill. Where that came...
It's to imply she's a terrible dentist.
Gotcha. And then, we moved around a little bit, and then we go to the go home, which was she ends up... Britt Baker goes to stab her with some Novocaine.
Yeah.
And she ends up stabbing herself in the leg, so now she can't walk. I think something that would have saved this match is if we could have seen her limp around a little bit and play that up. Or like Katie had said at one point, get her in the arm, and then that arm's just dead. And we could play that up. I think that might have saved the match a little bit. But no. She stabbed her and she sold it. She tried to limp around, but it is such close quarters, we can't really get to it. And then Swole puts the laughing gas in her face and pins her for the 3 count in the dentist chair.
I think.
She just passed out and said, "Oh, that's it."
Yep.
Ding, ding, ding.
He was knocked out.
And so there you go.
I was very amused. I thought it was fun.
Well, I'm glad somebody enjoyed it.
Well, you don't sound glad.
Children.
That's because I'm lying. Moving on into our next match, we have, this will put me in a better mood. We have the Young Bucks versus, as Jim Ross said several times during the broadcast, the Lucha Express. Jurassic Express, but whatever. At this point, JR, he gives no fucks anymore, right? I mean,
I accidentally started a comedy bit during this match because I misread the Chiron and I thought Marco Stunt was wrestling and not Jungle Boy. So I kept insisting that Marco Stunt was in the ring and not Jungle Boy.
That's true. At one point, I thought you were just messing with Katie.
And then when I tried to correct it, I still somehow messed up, and it kept going when I was trying to apologize for being wrong.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, you were. I thought you were just giving the business to Katie and Gina.
No.
So I just let it ride. I didn't correct you at all. I was enjoying the moment.
Wouldn't have corrected me either. It kept going.
I thought it was fantastic.
Well, I think a part of the issue arose with how insistent you were that it was Marco's
Because I
stunt,
thought it was.
despite everybody in the room telling you, no, that's Jungle Boy.
They kind of look alike. I'm not gonna lie.
You've never seen them in this? Oh no, wait, we can't do that one, can we?
No.
No.
One was hobbling around the ring the whole time.
That's true.
Anyway, I hate the Young Bucks. Go ahead.
Yeah. So I guess the Young Bucks have went heel.
They better have, because that's the only way to explain what they were doing in the middle of that fucking ring.
Yeah, and they've kind of been doing this past couple of weeks.
Right.
The commentators are putting it over as they're getting more aggressive, and
But that's not true. They've been wrestling like this since they came in. They've been, I guess, nominally the good guys in like segments and stuff. But when they're in the ring, they wrestle heel.
Mm-hmm. And I mean, it started out with Jack Jungle Perry Boy. It goes to shake. Was it
One of
Nick?
Was it a receding hairline? I don't know.
I think Nick's the one with the receding hairline.
Maybe.
Yeah.
He's got the semicircle hairline. It's
He goes to shake his hand, and he slapped it away from him. And I was like, wow,
And then at one point, one of them chased around Marco's stunt.
Yeah.
Who has a leg cast on. They chased him around with the intent to kick his ass. I mean,
who was not interfering in the match at this point?
No, he was there for moral support, and like a face, he was not interfering at all.
Right. Now, I mean, as far as the action goes,
good action with some
great
with
stuff.
Some minor bumps, but not bumps, but problems.
There were some problems. Luchasaurus, he looked awkward that night. Like there was some things that he nailed.
Yeah.
And he made up for it, but there were some things he did, and I can't really pinpoint anything.
It seemed like there were spacing issues where he didn't have like quite enough distance to smoothly pull off what he normally does.
Right. At one point, getting close to the go home, he decides he's gonna do he's gonna jump out of the ring. He's gonna springboard from the top rope,
splash one of the Bucks who were in the crowd.
Yeah. And by the time he got to the top rope, the other Buck had already fucked off. And so he had plenty of time to take a look. And then he just decided, you know what? I don't like this crew of wrestlers anyway. I'm just going to jump on all of them.
And he did.
And that's what happened.
Then there was the Jungle Boy with one of the young Bucks trying to getting suplex out of the ring, and they couldn't make it. Right.
Oh God, that's right. I forgot about that.
It was the sequence where they do the continuing suplexes.
Mm-hmm.
And he was trying to do it onto the ringside because they did continue and keep doing the suplexes.
Right. It was the Northern Lights.
Yeah, that.
Yeah. There were a lot of things. Not a lot. There was a few spots that were kind of broken.
Mm-hmm.
But you know what? They kept going. They didn't.
They pushed through.
It's not that they missed a beat and were confused and didn't know, how to follow up. They kept moving. They know what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
The Bucks go over. I thought this was a really, really great match. I gave it a 3.
Yeah.
Solid 3. My only question, look, guys, if you're going to go heel, just go heel. Especially with what we saw later on tonight.
Mm-hmm.
In which I just watched Dynamite this morning and this afternoon, and still we're still not sure. So, moving into our battle royal, our casino battle royal. Now, I don't have the suits of people that came out.
I don't either, but I did like that they actually improved it somewhat, where now instead of just forcing everyone in the same suit to just walk out, they did get a mini entrance for everybody.
A little bit, yeah. Yeah, and that was nice.
It was basically like one after the other. They didn't. There was like after the suits were called, it was just be one after the other. Then them, then the next person, then the next person.
Right. Now, so we start this out, and it's going along nicely. I got a few issues with the Battle Royal.
Yeah.
Let's go ahead and talk about Matt Sydal.
Sydal,
sorry. You would know him, and I know him as Evan Bourne. For those of you that may recognize the name but can't really place it, he was tag team champions with Kofi Kingston back in the day.
Yeah, Air Boom.
Yeah, Air Boom. That's right.
Dumb name. That's why it sticks with me. It's so dumb.
It was dumb, and I always was a fan of Evan Bourne. And I never thought he got a chance they never really gave him a chance in WWE.
He wouldn't stop smoking the synth weed.
Well, that's true too. And honestly, I didn't recognize him.
No, I didn't either.
And I didn't find out until the third time I watched it. That's Evan Bourne. I'll be damned.
Yeah, his foot slipped when he was pushing off to get air for his
shooting star press. Number one, odd move to do in a battle royal.
It's a risky idea.
Secondly, I'm glad he's okay. I feel bad for the guy. That's a bad way to make your debut.
Yeah, but he laughed. He did a good job laughing it off, though. And
he did.
And he didn't pretend like it didn't happen.
Yeah. Now some people.
Yeah.
And the internet marks are likening this to the Shockmaster.
No.
I'm like, no, this is not even close. And then other people
This was just a standard botch. It was
it's just a botch. Yeah, granted,
Shockmaster was a terrible gimmick that had an even worse debut and execution.
The Shockmaster was just awful.
Yeah.
And he should have stayed as Tugboat.
It is the gold standard for everything going wrong all at once.
Yeah.
Right down to British Bulldog laughing and saying and picking up on Mike, he fell on his fucking arse.
Yeah. It was so oh my god. And then some people even compared it to Titus tripping and falling under the ring. Not the same.
No.
Not the same because Titus, just thinking about it, he disappeared. I mean, minute he was running down the ring, and the next minute he was gone.
What's amazing about that is his momentum carried him so hard he flew under the ring
all the way. I mean, only his feet were.
It would just be like an occasional thing to think about. And remember the time Titus fell before he got in the ring? Oh, that was weird. And they'll just never think about it again. He magicked himself away.
Yeah. This is, and neither one of these incredible legendary botches compare to what happened with him. It was
right.
His foot slipped on the rope.
Yeah.
And he botched a superstar press. Shooting star. Thank you. Thank God everybody was aware of it.
Yeah.
And they helped him out. He recovered and he kept moving.
It looked like a thing that could just happen in a match, and that's what it was. Is like that's the best way to cover it. It's like, oops, he slipped. Take advantage. Do what you got to do to make it look like it's still flowing into the match.
Right, and it is what it is.
It would have been nice. It would have been nice for him to pull that off. That's unfortunate.
Now let's talk about another botch that happened that night.
Do tell.
Well, during that battle royal.
Yeah.
Let's talk about Darby Allin.
Oh, no.
So.
Well, first off, he's still alive.
Yeah.
You want to call that living?
So he comes in. He makes a great entrance. He does his shtick.
He hits people with a skateboard. It's hilarious.
Yeah. He I think he even eliminated one or two guys.
Possibly, yeah.
And then he got caught by Brian Cage.
Yes.
Now, if you guys have been following, you know that Brian Cage is what we call a monster. He is over 300 pounds and he is solid muscle.
He angry.
Yeah. And he's managed by a 5'0" other monster by the name of Taz. So that's just a pile of angry.
The original angry.
Yeah. So one of them has a Napoleonic complex, and the other one is just an angry monster. So it's a match made in hell. And then you feed him 160 pounds of Darby Allin.
Who's never seen a brick wall he hasn't been happy to bash himself against.
Right. And tonight was no exception. We pulled out a body bag.
Oh, that's right. I almost forgot about Shake and Bake.
Yes, that's right.
Cage took out a body
now, when
bag.
you say shake and bake, are you referring to the Easter egg shake and bake that they used to do?
No.
You don't do you know what I'm talking about?
I don't know what that is.
Now, this was it only comes around for Easter, but it's when you take your eggs and you can dye them whatever color you want to.
Oh, right.
But then you have these decals and glitter and stuff, and you can put it in a bag and kind of shake it up a little bit.
More, yeah.
Yeah.
No, I'm talking classic Shake and Bake.
Okay, gotcha.
Where you take the chicken that is Darby Allin, you shove him into the bag, which is a body bag.
Right.
You add thumbtacks.
Like you do.
Which is the flour, the shake and bake mix. Luckily, most of which fell outside the bag.
Right. Leaving other people to have to take bumps on the thumbtacks.
Right. You zip that up and proceed to throw it around.
Right. And
then eventually...
boy, that's tasty.
And then eventually over the ropes, where the refs unzipped it to make sure Darby was okay, who looked like he was just going to sleep on the ramp for the rest of the night.
He... and the rest of everybody else's life because he was dead.
He was just curled up in the bag.
He picked him up over his head and he threw him. Threw him. Now, again, last time I checked, Darby is 160 pounds. Cage is pushing that 300-pound mark, and he looks it. He benches 4 Darby Allins for a warm-up. This was nothing to him. This literally could have been a dead chicken. He wouldn't have known.
Thankfully, the blow was cushioned because the ramp is covered with mom's carpet.
But he landed on what looked to be his head.
Right, the Darby Allin standard.
And then a whole bunch of refs come out and they unzip the bag.
Like I said,
the turkey's done.
His head pokes out and he just looks like he's just ready to roll over and nap.
Yeah.
Because of the concussion.
Yeah. They take the thumbtacks out of his eyes and they cart him away. I don't know if we'll ever see him again.
He'll be back. Either he'll be back or his reanimated corpse will.
Right.
It'll match his face paint.
And then let's take us to our third weird spot of the night. Which was Jake the Snake missing his spot. Or something happened. Jake clearly was either late or early or something.
There was definitely mistiming.
Are you talking about, do you guys want this snake?
Yeah.
Does anybody want
this exactly what I do. Somebody want to buy this snake?
Hey.
Who wants a snake?
Hey, you want to use the snake?
It's damn it, and it pisses me off because we all know there's no damn snake in the bag.
You shut your lying mouth. Of course there was.
I'm just saying they won't let them do that anymore.
Oh.
PETA will be all. Of course, it is Florida. You can get away with a lot down there.
Yeah, let's do Damien Burgers Part 2.
Right? Damien Burgers. Remember when Earthquake did that?
Yeah.
That was. Oh man. So yeah, he's holding up the bag to oh god, what's the guy's name? Eddie Kingston?
Crap. Yes,
Eddie Kingston.
Eddie Kingston was it, yeah.
Also, he was formerly not. See, now I've forgotten their original name. It was Pride and Power.
Proud
and Powerful.
Yeah,
but their original name was.
Well, they were like the second LAX or something.
LAX.
Yeah.
That's what. Yeah, he was with LAX back in the day, and so now he's just Eddie Kingston.
Well, he's been Eddie Kingston in other play. He's done.
He has. He was on NWA Power. Mm-hmm. He's had a couple things.
I know he's been in Chikara too.
Yes, he has. He apparently on AEW Dark, they have alluded to Eddie being afraid of snakes. So he holds up the bag. He's like, "Hey, you want to buy this snake? Go on, sell it to you cheap." But it wasn't time for it yet, and the first time he did it, he just slapped it away from him. And then the second time, once everybody got ready, he was like, Christ, Roberts is going early. Let's, the guys get ready here. And so then he does it, and now Eddie's selling it. And, well, then everybody goes over the top, and Lance Archer takes the win.
Yep.
In the Casino Battle Royal.
Thanks to Grandpa Snake.
Yeah. Which
Grandpa Snake in his sporty little snakeskin sweater.
Yeah. Which a couple things with this. Yeah, that kind of told us already that okay, well, now we know Jon Moxley is winning this.
Right.
But also Brian Cage still has not cashed in his poker chip from Double or Nothing.
Nope. But doesn't he have the FTW title right now? Didn't Taz give him
He
that?
does, but Taz just gave that to him.
Right.
And he hasn't defended it.
Taz gave it to himself. That's how it became a thing.
Right. It's so but yeah, that I don't know, man. That's you'd think he would have cashed it in by now.
I'm sure they're saving it.
So now we're going to have
it'll be for something interesting.
2 people that have a world title shot.
Oh man!
But
what if they're going to spring both at the same time idea?
The magical 3-way. That's some WWE bullshit. That's what that is. I hope they don't do that. A few bad spots in this battle royal. Yeah. I couldn't give it a 5, even though it's normally. Historically speaking, I always give a battle royal a 5 because I love them so much.
Right.
This one I gave it a 4.
But it was exciting.
It was exciting.
Sometimes for the right reasons, sometimes not, especially for the right reasons.
Right.
But it was quite a watch.
It was. Lots of fun. I love a good battle royal, and we got one. Now, let's just talk about it.
Okay.
So during your review of the last match, you said the words broken and botch in the same sentence, and my ears perked up, and I was like, oh, we're here already.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right.
We are here.
It's time.
Yeah. A broken rules match. Which is just a Texas death match or a last man standing, pick whatever you want to call it.
So we've got a football stadium to film in. Let's do it. Let's go over there.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So this thing starts, and we're going to do a callback to when Hardy and Omega ran over Sammy with the golf cart way back. And
this is the Matt Hardy Sammy Guevara match, yeah.
Yeah, I should have said that.
We kind of danced around it, but yeah, it's just
So now you see Matt Hardy walking around looking for Sammy.
Yep.
And then Sammy pulls up in his golf cart.
Sammy has found a golf cart.
Yeah.
He scouted around first.
All right. So vroom vroom.
Yes.
Here he goes.
Crazy taxi. Yes.
And yeah. Goes chasing down Matt. Matt, boy, you can really see his age, man, because he was trying to run out of the way, and he just couldn't. He was limping.
His poor knees.
He awkwardly shuffled out of the way.
Yeah, and so that.
Actually, I wouldn't even blame that on his knees. I blame that probably on his thighs or his upper thighs.
His hips
his
his
inability to really move at a swift angle anymore.
Right. So Sammy goes barreling into some boxes that were just placed there haphazardly.
Right.
Excuse me.
There's always conveniently placed boxes.
Yeah. If it's one thing we know about wrestling, there's empty boxes.
Wrestling and terrible action movies.
Yeah. Pads, kendo sticks, and tables everywhere. Mm-hmm. So, speaking of tables,
I was like, we're getting there. This happened so early.
So early. After he gets out, they fight a little bit and
across the floor, and they happen upon a table that's near a cherry picker.
Mm-hmm. Was it a cherry picker or was it a scissor lift?
I've heard them called.
Does it matter?
I think it's interchangeable because I've heard them called cherry pickers too.
Yeah.
It's just it's basically a motorized rising platform.
Right. Because I could be wrong about this, but I thought that a cherry picker.
Oh, a cherry picker is just the bucket
and out.
Well, I've heard
like it's connected to a crane, whereas a scissor lift is actually.
You might be right. You may be. I think I'm thinking of the crane buckets.
Right.
Yeah. Those are okay. Yeah. So this is a scissor lift.
So they get on the scissor lift and Guevara takes him up and
so they faked like Matt was going to, I don't know, twist a fake Guevara off of it or something onto the table below, but Guevara gets out
and spears him.
Yeah, gets to the other end of the platform, spears him off. He was supposed to go through the table.
Yeah, they had two of them up there,
and from the shoulders down, he got it.
Yeah. Now, full confession here. I thought that Matt was okay.
Honestly, the first time I kind of thought so too.
Yeah. And it's because just watching it, he landed perfect.
Yeah.
And now everybody else in the house, they were all against me on this. It was like, no.
Second viewing, it was more obvious.
And
as I saw it the second time.
But see, there was more reasons for me to think that.
It was obscured by the table, but you can tell just his head and his neck hit the cement.
Right. Now,
hard.
It was more reasons than just the way he landed, because again, he landed perfect.
He did.
But
the table's supposed to help with that.
Right. If he had been badly hurt, me thinking in WWE mode, they would have cut that feed right then, put it out on the camera, put it out on the announcers, put it out on something else.
Yeah.
Because they're on a delay. You're never watching anything live. Never. It's always, at bare minimum, you're watching a 10-minute delay. It's never actually as it happens. WWE would have cut that immediately. And you would have gone back to the announcers or whatever. But they stayed with it. Which made me think, the camera focuses in. You got Aubrey there doing the sign right in front of the camera that we've got an injury. And we need this, and we need the doctor.
She threw up the X. The doctor was thankfully right there.
She called the match. The bell rang.
Yeah, you heard the bell.
Which again says in my mind, this is a work. I was like, they're working us.
No, the work actually came shortly after.
Right. As you know, I had to text a few people
Yeah.
to get some concrete answers.
Sorry.
Yeah, no, because everybody was telling me no, he's hurt. He gets they restarted the match, which again tells me okay, he's fine.
Matt was convinced he was fine.
Yeah,
he was going to soldier through. And
Matt didn't know where he was.
And if this had been a work, then Matt Hardy would have been a shoo-in for my best performance of the night, because there is no wrestler in AEW, WWE, I don't care what fed, that is a good enough of an actor to sell the way he actually was injured.
Yeah.
Christ, him collapsing while and almost pulling Guevara's trunks down was one of the hardest things about this, just watching him ragdoll.
Yeah. But again, pulling the trunks down, that is a known spot.
Yeah.
And Sammy has done this spot several times, which again told me, I was like, we're working.
I think that had more to do with what he just happened to be grabbing at.
True.
Honestly, because he was just grabbing for something to hold on to.
Yeah. And don't get me wrong, guys. Don't hit me up, because I know now.
Yeah.
At the
time watching it, it was hard to tell, and I understand that.
And because also I live my life thinking everything is a work.
Here's what else contributes to that problem, and a lot of that is WWE. Mm-hmm. It is the fact that after some very serious tragedies have happened in ring,
sure,
they decided to take that tone sometimes and put it into a work.
Right.
In fact, I've heard it's across the internet when they talk about those moments, they call it the Owen voice.
Which I think is sick.
Where they stop, they start acting like they're out of character. And it's like, this is not okay. They got really somber and quiet voiced, and they're like, they're tending to him right now, and after years of doing that,
right,
it does make it genuinely hard, just because you want to make your dumbass storyline seem more have more gravity to it.
Yeah,
that makes it harder when something like that happens, and you're looking there. It's like, well, wait, no, Matt got up, he's going. Okay, so he's fine. He's fine. It's a work.
Exactly. Now they get up and they went right to go home.
Yes,
which means they punched each other outside.
Yeah.
Climbed up this lattice.
Yeah.
And
Hardy slipping a few times.
Yeah, slid a couple of times, and they got to their point.
At a couple of points, Guevara was stopping to help Matt Hardy.
Yes, he was.
Him.
And
they do the go home where Matt just magically punched
punched him.
Yeah, and Guevara, to his credit, sold it like death and fell off.
Now, this is my problem here, guys. I think AEW should be ashamed of themselves for continuing this. Again, they've done the injury spot before, not AEW, but WWE. We've seen that. We expect it. What they should have done is they actually brought the doctor, and they're continuing to film.
I think the problem was the doctor. I'm not doubting his ability. I think he let Matt shrug him off too hard.
Yeah, that's when you have an injury like that, you don't as much knowledge as we have about head injuries now. Mm-hmm. Thanks to Mick Foley and most of the people from the Attitude Era, if they're still alive,
and Chris Nowinski,
Benoit.
Nowinski specifically, his career was ended because of it,
and he has led the pack.
Yeah, campaigned for it hard.
Yeah, I mean, no matter how you feel about that guy, he's the leader in the clubhouse as far as as doing research for wrestlers and head injuries.
Mm-hmm.
You should have cut that match right then. Aubrey, I'm not as upset. I'm not upset with Aubrey, but Aubrey she tried to stop that match.
Yeah.
And regardless of what people think, the ref is in charge.
Yeah.
And they can stop the damn match anytime they want to. A lot of people don't really they like to say, the ref's not really even a part of it. They're just there to just blah, 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 blah. No. The ref is in charge. The ref is hooked up to a mic. The ref is getting instructions from Gorilla.
They're relaying information.
Yeah.
They're the ones who usually signal to go home.
Yeah. And the ref can stop that match. She did stop the match.
Someone overrode her. Yeah.
Yeah. The powers that be, I would hate to pinpoint it to somebody, but I'm just going to say because it's top of the heap. Tony Khan.
Yeah.
Had the match restarted. Even I believe I heard tweets later on this. Tony Khan had tweeted out, "Matt's fine."
He did, yeah.
And then Matt's wife also tweeted, "He definitely is not fine. He has a concussion." You should be ashamed of yourself, guys. That's not the type of shit that we don't want. Regardless of my feelings about the Hardys or whatever, I don't want to see anybody get hurt.
You're right. I think her tweet was first, and then later he tweeted out after the test had come back.
And that's what, yeah.
Okay. But there was a period of time where it seemed like it was very feasible to think he had a concussion. Massive.
Yeah. Now, and again, we had trouble with this because our signal was so spotty the first time that we tried to watch it. But it is my understanding that this set a tone for the rest of the damn show.
Yeah.
Nobody could get back into this. I gave this match a negative Meltzer and a half. Well, negative half Meltzer.
I honestly don't think it needed. I wouldn't rate it, honestly.
I thought about it, but I thought about not rating it. But the thing about it is, they wanted to keep it going.
Yep.
Like this is still 1998 and we make time. We don't do that anymore. Not at this level.
No,
you guys should be ashamed of yourselves for what you've done here.
Especially not for a guy like Matt, who has already done so much for the business and sacrificed his body so hard.
Yeah. And he's not even the daredevil one.
No.
Matt can actually work for the most part. And the man almost died. I'm trying not to talk smack about it, but
it's all right, just grade on a curve.
Yeah, it's I don't know, man. I'm very, very disappointed in AEW. Not enough that I'm, going to stop watching, or we're not going to. No, that's not going to happen because I don't live that way.
It's just you. This is the kind of mistake they better learn from.
Yeah. This is, and boy, this night was chocked full of mishaps like that. There was something in the air that night.
I was just going to say, ultimately, it's terrible that these things happen, especially to Matt. I hope they take the right lessons from it.
I do too. I agree 100%, and that's why this gets a -5 from me.
Yeah.
That's the first negative that I've ever actually given to AEW.
Yeah. And special circumstances require special ratings.
Absolutely. Now, Hikaru Shida versus Thunder Rosa.
This was an excellent match.
It was an excellent match. And now, again, I heard we didn't get that experience, but I heard that people didn't care about this match because the last thing messed them up so bad. They were watching it.
Fair.
But they didn't care. They were like, it stunned them. So now we went and watched it with a fresh set of eyes.
Yeah, I hope it doesn't make me sound cold, but it didn't really do that for me.
Yeah, but that's not your fault because, again, we really didn't get to watch this match as it happened. We watched it the second night when we already knew what had happened and everything went down. It didn't take it out of us.
I mean, it really didn't the first time either.
Right.
That's what I was saying. It's just like I don't know. I was fine. I mean,
and I was too. But see, I'm still thinking it was a work.
Right.
So
I mean, I was angry about that happening, but my thought in the back of my head is like he's gone to the hospital.
Right.
Yeah, that was. I don't know. I don't know how to express it. It's just
No,
like,
I know.
I was still able to enjoy.
Yeah, you don't care about the Hardys.
Look,
I get it. It's
I've been. It's like I've been watching wrestling.
fellow Carolinians.
I've been watching wrestling since
Make a damn
the tail
Barnes.
end of '97. So I've seen. So I think as a wrestling fan,
Basically, what you're saying is he's had a good run, and if you want to put him in Darby Allin's body bag,
I'm
and
saying
throw some
he's my
nails in
dog,
there.
Ma, and I'll take care of it. No, I just there is a certain level of the show's still going. I mean, and this isn't over the edge. No one died, so
True. Now, Hikaru Shida and Thunder Rosa. This is for the AEW women's title.
yeah. Thunder Rosa is the NWA Women's Champion.
Yes, and she's had that title for a hard minute. We
didn't really watch it, but they had a nice video package for her, complete with voiceover from Billy Corgan, the NWA president.
They did, yeah. And I had stopped watching NWA Power just before she won that title, which was sometime last year.
Yeah.
Which again, that's a testament, man. She's holding that belt, man.
Yeah.
It's been over a year now. That's awesome. So good on her, man. This was a fantastic match. This is the best match that I have seen from the women's division in the AEW women's division. Period.
This was, it was some hard hitting action from both Shida and Thunder Rosa.
My favorite move out of this whole night was the Death Valley Driver.
Oh man,
that she delivered to her on the apron. Oh my God!
She delivers that and then just breaks out in this gleeful smile.
And just as a footnote, guys, I'm never going to call it a DVD. I'm never calling it that. I still say Kentucky Fried Chicken. I don't say KFC. I'm not calling it a DVD. It's a Death Valley Driver.
Sounds cooler that way. How are you not going to call it a Death Valley Driver?
Yeah, Death Valley and a drive. Oh my! I mean, that's terrifying.
Would you call the Tiger Driver a TD?
That sounds like a disease. I mean, that you can go to the free clinic and take care of that.
Or the Tombstone Pile Driver, the TP.
Yeah, and
hits him with the TP.
Would you call a digital video disc a DVD?
Yes.
Oh shit!
Yeah.
Because that's a lot to say.
Yeah.
It's not as cool.
No. Boy, way to bring down the room, Hensley.
Would you call a Death Valley Driver digital video disc the DVD?
I might. No, the favorite move of the night.
Yeah.
These two tore it down. And if there was a match that could have saved us from what we just watched, it would have been this match.
Good Lord, yeah.
Man, what?
I'm not even remembering half of what I should from that match. It was
so much, man. I mean, it was just an incredible match. Best thing I've seen from the women in AEW. And again, guys, I gave this match a 3.5 rating. Guys, that's the standard. And I'll be honest, I could have gone. I probably should have called it a 4. But yeah, we just weren't quite there. So we're going 3.5. But that was an outstanding match. let's see.
Sheeta retains.
Sheeta does retain her belt. And Thunder Rosa, I guess she's going to be on Dynamite for a couple more episodes, and then she goes back to Dynamite.
I'm sure once they get more comfortable, if the relationship progresses, there may eventually be maybe a title trade where the wrestlers have to chase each other between
I would
shows.
love to see that. We do that in AAA with the Bucks and the Lucha Brothers, and that was a fantastic match. And this did nothing but help NWA Power.
Yeah,
because now they know they've got a credible women's champion down there.
Oh yeah, she shined big time.
Yeah. And they don't have Cornette anymore, so it's odd that this podcast has turned to us just shitting on Cornette.
No, I don't shit on him all the time. Just when he comes up.
Yeah, he just happened. He's just
when he comes up and has wrong opinions, which is often.
Yeah, and here the past 3 shows he has popped up.
Coming this fall from Long Walk Productions, fuck Jim Cornette.
Yeah.
Hosted by David Two
Now,
Dogs
if you
Hayes.
express this on Twitter, don't tag him. He will block you.
Oh, yeah.
Or if someone notices you talked about Jim Cornette, they'll snitch tag you.
Oh, they will. And I guarantee it. Somebody is listening right now and...
Good. Snitch.
Yeah.
There's no such thing as bad publicity.
That's become my least favorite thing on Twitter now. When you just say something,
put us on the drive-in.
When you comment about, I've seen people just comment about something or somebody, and someone will pop in and is like, "Hey," with their tag. So you see what they're saying about you? And it's like, why?
Yeah,
like
I don't like people that do that.
Like people, like whoever tweeted that way weren't looking for a fight. They were just expressing an opinion. You're dragging the other party in here to make this a thing.
I hate the people that I thought you should know people.
Yeah,
honestly, I have no use for those people.
My response to that would ever be, you thought wrong, and then I block them.
Yeah. Yeah, because that person is a troublemaker.
Yeah, exactly.
And not only that,
because they want to see a Twitter beef for their own amusement.
Not only that, for every bad thing that I say about Cornette, I will say something good about Cornette.
I've backed that up several times. It's like
he's Bill Maher.
Yeah, he's got plenty of opinions that I can go with, I can agree with, but then there will be tangents he'll go down that's like, no. I
mean, the reality is he's a great wrestling mind. He just happens to be a dickhead, which is not uncommon for the wrestling business.
That's right, Doggz.
Ladies and gentlemen.
How dare you?
Wait, no, I was just agreeing with you. I don't know. What were you inferring from that?
Unfortunately,
Nothing.
this fall's original programming, Fuck Jim Cornette, has been canceled by Long Walk Productions.
That's weird.
Be replaced with Jim Cornette's Quite a Guy.
I'm sick those episodes.
Yeah. It's only going to be like a 10-minute podcast.
I want every episode to we do an introduction and it's just you going, so that Jim Cornette's a hell of a guy.
Thank you for listening.
Yeah, exactly.
Hey, remember when he managed Bobby Eaton and Dennis Condrey?
Do the Farley thing, like, that was cool. End of podcast.
Right. Hey, you remember when he managed Yokozuna?
That was cool.
Yeah.
Gotta go.
Remember when he gave Cornette talks during the Attitude Era?
Yeah.
That was awesome. Did it hurt?
What were we talking about?
Something about wrestling. I don't know.
That doesn't sound like us.
So, 3.5 Meltzers for Hikaru. I can't even talk. Hikaru Shida.
I think it's Hikaru. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hikaru,
something like that.
Hikaru Shida. Yeah.
So this is going to move us into our 8-man tag with Dustin Reynolds.
Yes.
Or Dustin Rhodes. I don't know what he's calling himself, because the other night somebody said Reynolds, and then later on they said Rhodes. So we have Dustin Rhodes, QT Marshall, Matt Cardona, a.k.a. Zack Ryder,
Yeah.
woo, 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 and Scorpio Sky versus the Dark Order and Colt Cabana.
Well, no, he
Is he, though?
he
doesn't have a mask.
He thinks he's in.
Yeah.
I think they tolerate him at best because it was Brody Lee, it was Evil Uno, Stu Grayson, and Colt Cabana.
Oh, yes, it was Stu Grayson.
Yeah.
You're right. And let me tell you, so
I love Colt being a Dark Order. I love it so much because
he's so happy.
he loves it there. He's like the guy in the cult who's all about it. He's not even really brainwashed. He's just in.
Right.
He's like, I agree.
He's just happy to have friends.
He's the guy you
He's
send-
happy to be a part of it.
He's the guy you send door to door to talk about the love of their savior.
Right. You ask for a donation.
Yeah.
You talk to him for a little while. You
he's
ask
the guy-
he can come in.
He's the guy who makes the cult seem normal.
Yeah. He's the only one that doesn't have the glazed over look in his
No,
eye.
he does not.
And he is as happy as a clam to be out. He's bouncing around to this scary music. And then we have the Nightmare Family coming out, which it's not really a family. It's only it's only
It's a
Dustin and Brandy.
It's a Nightmare collective of close associates.
QT Marshall and
Dustin
Allie has to be there.
Yeah, Dustin and Brandy are there because they're related. They're brother and sister-in-law.
All right.
Then that's where I lose it.
QT is just a friend of the family. Allie's I don't even know what she's doing there. I missed that part of the story. I don't know where she came on and why she's hanging on to QT. Because as far as I knew, QT Marshall was a jobber.
They're trying to build it.
They're doing a good job because he's been with them for a minute now. Mm-hmm. And then we have Matt Cardona and Scorpio Sky.
Yeah.
Scorpio Sky's my man. Versus the Dark Order.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the one problem that I have with this is too many damn people around the ring,
True.
in the ring,
True.
everywhere. They keep feeding the couple things that I can say about it was Brody Lee keeps feeding people to Cabana.
Uh-huh.
It's like, yeah, all right, finish him off now. And he's so excited to do it. He keeps working, and he's got this big smile. He keeps delivering the boom elbow, and he has not changed his singlet at all.
No, he's darkened the tone to match theirs.
A little bit.
He's changed the colors to match theirs, but it's basically the same.
Same singlet.
Yeah.
Just a little darker. Still got the towel.
Yeah.
And still the same smile. Mm-hmm. I wish that he could come out separate so we could hear the Colt Cabana.
Yeah.
Boom, boom. And just to go right along with the Dark Order, just for the contrast of it. It's fun watching that.
Yeah.
Colt Cabana has really made it a lot of fun to watch the Dark Order, even though I like the Dark Order anyway.
Evil Uno is a delight on Twitter.
That you keep telling me that.
It's true.
I keep trying to get on Twitter, man, and I'll talk to you. I'll talk to Robert Bradford, and
that's fair. It's a pit.
Yeah, I was like, you know what? I've seen enough, and I gotta go.
It's a pit. I only go on there to follow certain people that I like who tweet a lot.
Right.
Even then, it's like I don't want to read too far down the comment line because I'm gonna inevitably run into something that makes me sad.
Right.
Someone deciding to chime in and be a shit. Mm-hmm. Earlier today, I could not. I saw an announcement for a game I was happy to see, and then I started reading comments, and I had to stop doing that because everyone's stupid on Twitter.
Yeah, it appears so. That's. But this match raged all over. Apparently, JR got in a little bit of trouble.
What happened?
Well, when Anna Jay, the other member, the female member of the Dark Order.
who interfered, yeah.
Yeah, she comes out to interfere with Allie and Brandy. She does some kind of adjustment to her top.
Yeah.
And JR...
JR took notice, did he?
He did, and he say, "Hey, did she have a wardrobe malfunction, or is that just wishful thinking?" And I was like, "Okay, come on, okay. Lay off, Marks. That's first of all, it's a dad joke, and it's JR. So, guys, if you're gonna fuss at me because I'm getting on to JR about him, messing up Jack Perry's gimmick name, then and say, hey, lay off JR. He can do what he wants to. Okay, now then you can't get on to me for this. You can't get on to JR for that either. So you gotta pick your spots, guys. So and then JR the next day sent a tweet out, something to the tune of, "Sorry, it was a failed attempt at humor. Now lighten up," or something like it was sorry, not sorry. It was a go fuck yourself.
And that's fine. Basically, it's like, the joke didn't land, I guess. Oh well.
Yeah, and again, as I've said at the top of the podcast, I don't think JR gives any fucks about anything anymore.
Why would he?
Right? I mean.
Oh, but JR did have the best moment of the night where I forget where it happened, but he talks about. He makes an offhanded comment that involves throwing out his barbecue sauce, and he just under his breath goes,
"When did he say that?"
Oh, I might have been during this match. He makes an offhanded comment about cooking a meal for somebody, and he just under his breath goes, JR'sBarbecue.com. Yeah. I died laughing so hard.
I think it was during the. Yeah. No, it wasn't. It was during FTR.
It was. Okay, so that's coming.
Yeah,
that's coming. I just died.
So the Natural Nightmares go over. As probably that's 2 losses for the Dark Order tonight.
And Brody Lee was livid.
Yeah.
And who took the blame?
Oh, Mr. Colt Cabana did. And he was sad.
He got browbeat after that. But there led to a very nice moment after that where Evil Uno came back to the ring and picked him up, and it was wholesome. It was
very. That cult is very sweet.
Yes.
And this leads us into a promo with Dustin Rhodes.
Oh, yeah. Wow.
Cuts a great promo.
Yeah.
And then it sets up the...
See, that's what it sounds like when you're able to give a promo and put actual passion into it.
Right. It's not... there was no turn page over.
If in order to be properly dramatic, you have to keep your voice low and you have to be intense. That's a man who was like, he won a match. He's like, holy hell, I'm fucking psyched.
He's psyched. He can work off the cuff. He can cut a damn promo, and they're not going to give him a script. They're going to give him here's what I want you to hit.
Yeah.
You're excited. Talk about it. In a minute here, we're going to tell you that Tony Khan is going to give you a match at Dynamite for the TNT title. I want you to react.
He reacted with shock and like happy shock. They're like, oh yeah, this is happening.
Yeah.
And then they even snuck in a way to shill a new T-shirt.
Exactly.
It was like they showed off the T-shirt and it felt natural.
Yeah.
It flowed
per
together.
the Nightmares.
Yeah.
The Natural Nightmares. Yeah, good stuff, man. And this is going to bring us into the Elite versus FTR for the AEW Tag Team titles. Now, in their defense, they did not go as long as Randy Orton and Edge went in that last man standing match.
But man, did they go.
I think what happened was they were probably
Someone forgot to
supposed
start
to
the stopwatch.
Yeah, I think they were probably supposed to go about 15 minutes.
Uh-huh.
But because of
Hardy Guevara ending early.
Yeah, they decided to take that time, but they didn't really have anything planned, so they started calling stuff in the middle of the match. And it showed because I know FTR can do this.
Yeah.
I've seen them call a match, and it's apparent that they can call a match, and they can work in tandem together calling a match.
Yeah.
However, Kenny and Hangman, it is very clear to me now, they cannot call a match. Or they may, or at least can't work off the cuff as well as FTR.
I would probably guess that.
And it became apparent. In this match, we saw more finishers in this 30-minute match than we saw all night long.
It was 30 minutes?
Yeah, right? Hensley, wasn't it like 32, 33 minutes? Something?
No, it was like 27.
Oh, okay.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
It only felt like forever.
Round it up.
With
the entrances, we got 30 minutes.
Yeah, when I looked it up afterwards, we were all surprised that it was as short as it was.
Yeah.
Because it felt like it went on for 40 minutes or more.
Yeah.
Everyone's goodwill ran out after a point because it got to the point where somebody would kick out of a pin and we'd all be like, Jesus Christ.
I shouted end at one point.
I mean, and again, these are...
I wanted to be like Vince McMahon just marching out and just said, go home.
Yeah. And the thing about it is, guys, these pin attempts are not attempts. These are pin attempts going from finishers. And I mean hard finishers. Like, I mean, you know, the first...
There was at least...
Forget about the super kick party. Let's pretend that's a chop because that's what we're doing anyway.
There was at least 3 distinct, this could stop now moments.
There's like these huge power bomb spots. This like that one Northern Light spot from like the top rope. It was, I mean, there were so
and to qualify,
many.
This was not a bad match. Far from
Quite
it.
the contrary.
Quite a
this
good
was
match.
An amazing match.
Too long.
Too damn long. Too many damn finishers. I'm gonna blame this on Omega and Hangman. Guys, okay, 3 finishers will do. That's it. But do I need to drive down there? Let me and say, y'all work a match. Give me a pay-per-view match. I'm gonna tell you what a finisher is. Keep working. It's and the thing about it is you have to explain to them now. What was that politician that used to say, I don't know what the definition of pornography is, but I know it when I see it?
Oh, that was a judge. He was Robert Bork.
Yeah, it was a federal judge.
Yeah, there you
Robert
go.
Bork.
Robert Bork. There you go.
Yeah, it was during the Clarence Thomas stuff.
Same thing here. I'm going to go down to Florida and I'm going to say, guys, I don't know what pornography is. But no, I'm going to...
Please show me.
I'll say, guys, I used to know what a finisher was, but because...
I'm not 100% anymore.
Yeah.
But I'll know it when I see it.
Yeah. But what I can tell you is anything off the top rope is a finisher.
Especially if it's not stopped. If it's like...
Right.
If it's this far into the match and it's a super anything off the top turnbuckle,
it's a finisher.
It's a finisher.
Yeah. Now you can't kick out of that. Now maybe somebody can
stop it.
Can stop the pin. Maybe your foot can fall haphazardly onto the rope and stop the
or
count.
get placed there.
Yeah, or get placed. Whatever.
Yeah.
You know, something. But like, look, I'm not asking you guys to be Bill Watts run wrestling federation. Yeah. But I mean, a spiked power driver.
Yeah.
is banned in most federations.
Yeah.
Most federations. You delivered 2 of them. Now, and everybody knows this. This is not a news bulletin. A spike power driver is banned.
Yeah.
Everybody knows that a spike power driver is banned in most federations. So that must mean it's pretty damn one. That's a 3 count.
Yeah.
And for the love of God, if you kick out on a 2 count from a spike power, don't get up and do the exact same spot again.
Yeah.
Which is everything that I'm describing to you is what happened during this match. I'm very frustrated about it, and I wanted to rate this so high, and I can't because it was too damn long, and you had no psychology. It's like you started out using. I feel like FTR handled the first half of this match, and then the last half, Kenny and Hangman took over and said, "Brr!" and they had their Red Bulls had just kicked in about 20 minutes into the match, and it was like, okay, yeah, 3 flips.
The toddlers were given espresso.
Right. I did. I wanted to give this a 5-star match.
Yeah.
I wanted 5 Meltzers, and I can't do it. In fact, I dropped it all the way down to 2.5.
Oh, wow.
Because you lost the crowd. I am the biggest FTR mark that you'll ever see, and you lost me.
Yeah.
I want to see them. I love tag team wrestling, and I love FTR. And AEW right now is the best at tag team wrestling. And you lost the crowd. That shouldn't happen. That should never happen in a federation where your emphasis is tag team wrestling. Mm-hmm. Bar none. That's just the long and the short of it. 2.5 Meltzers. However, the one good thing we do have is we have new tag team champions for AEW in FTR.
Yes, we do.
Fantastic. Now, the aftermath of this match, I think we are finally going to see the breakup of Omega and Paige.
Oh, Mom and Dad are divorcing, definitely.
Yeah,
because Omega finally walked out on Hangman instead of the other way around,
right.
Which is the usual. The Young Bucks try to stop Omega from leaving, and Omega's basically like,
it's time for a clean break. You guys need to make a decision.
Yep. It's basically like either Hangman or me, get in the car or not.
Yeah, and so he gets in the car. He just walks from the ring.
Yeah.
To his
waiting SUV.
Ed just jumped in the back, and away he goes.
I said to Doggz, like, his stuff's still in the building, isn't it?
Yeah, did you drive here wearing that?
No, he did not. He had a driver, too.
Well, it's like, did you ride here wearing that? Because
probably not.
You had to come from the hotel.
He is going to ruin the upholstery in that car.
I'm telling you. So, yeah. Now we have new tag team champions. Now, let's move into the semi-main. And this is the Mimosa Mayhem match with freshly squeezed Orange Cassidy and Le Champion, the demo god, Chris Jericho.
That's right, Jericho Cassidy 3.
Yes. I don't have a ton of notes on this because this was not a technical masterpiece.
No, it was a fun gimmick match.
It was definitely the best Mimosa Madness, whatever it was.
Mayhem match.
Yeah, it was definitely the best Mimosa Mayhem match I've ever seen.
I agree. in my experience with Mimosa Mayhem Madness matches, did I just add another?
No.
Okay,
I mean,
Neither of us can get it straight what this was called.
There's not a lot of technical prowess in this. This is just fun.
Mm-hmm. This was honestly kind of like a scaffolding match without the scaffolding.
Right.
Because
this is like the tooth and nail match, except good.
Agree to disagree. But yeah, the whole point was they could still wrestle a standard match, but on each side of the ring there was a deep pit filled with what they called mimosas.
Yeah, this was Tang.
It was the best at best. I don't advise drinking any of that.
Couple of the lighter spots that were just it's just fun. Jericho actually gets Cassidy into the walls of Jericho, and he reaches into the vat of mimosa with a pitcher, dunks it in, turns around, and throws the mimosa water into the face of Le Champion. And once, much like Rebel, he sold it.
Yeah. That's the best thing. It's like
presentation.
It's like Ortiz selling the Aubrey Edwards throwing him out of the match.
Well, I liken that to Hogan versus Flair.
Yeah.
Now, we all have seen a Hulk Hogan match where there's a pin attempt.
Yep.
And Hogan kicks out and he looks at him and the guy punches him and the crowd counts 1, and he punches him again and he counts 2, and then he punches him again and he counts 3, and Hogan's starting to shake and he's vibrating and he's shaking and he's walking around, and then he punches him again for 4, and Hogan stops and he holds his hand up and he points at him, and everybody in the arena goes, "You!" Well, this happened. Flair versus Hogan. And he shakes 1, 2, 3. You, and Flair sells it. He went, and
Hogan may as well have been shooting a laser out of his face.
Yeah. And that's the same thing that we got with Jericho. It was fun. The go home is Jericho gets Superman punched into the vat of mimosa, and dead body floating.
He's just like, it's just dead man, not dead man's float, but it's just like on his back.
Isn't it? No, that's what it's called. Isn't it called the dead man's float?
If you're dead man's float, you're turned over.
That's true.
But yeah, he's just like, it looks like he's just asleep and sunning himself.
Yeah.
He's just in that vat, just completely just submerged.
This was just a fun match.
It was.
I don't know that I would have put this semi-main
so high, but I think it's because Jericho was in it.
Yeah, I mean, and I get that, but I don't think this is semi-main caliber. I would have put this midway because this is a feature match.
Yeah.
And most of your feature matches usually are mid-card or upper mid-card.
But I think it was kind of prescient of them to do it because after that tag match, you needed a breather. And my God, there it is. Because the main is also going to be a war.
Yeah. But a very different kind of war.
Yes.
I gave Cassidy and Jericho a 3 Meltzer rating. So much fun.
Oh, yeah.
Good stuff, guys. Cassidy goes over. The main event of the evening is my man MJF 2020 # not my champion. Just keep looking for those. Keep hashtagging that. We're gonna make we need hope and change. And I think this is our year. against Dean Moxley. I don't know what his name is.
Oh my god! The match was 40 minutes. This will be another 40.
John Moxley is your current AEW champion.
Yes.
Or dictator, whatever you want to call him. I can't tell you.
I don't think he's a dictator because you can't run an election against a dictator.
I disagree.
Well, you can, but briefly.
Right. You can only do it once. This match, MJF has never looked better. And I'm a fan of MJF, and I think he's fantastic. Mm-hmm. This is the best I've seen him work, bar none. My man gets color.
Yeah.
And he worked an old school style heel face wrestling match with the underhanded cheating. And then, no, ref, what are you talking about?
I love that.
Oh, my. And just some brutal stuff. And it's fun to watch somebody that really knows how to work that heel angle. And somebody that is technical enough to actually wrestle and hit some high spot. They're athletic enough that they can do the high spots that everybody likes to see nowadays.
Yeah, he showed that.
He can do it all.
He showed that off a while back with Jungle Boy.
Right.
Yeah.
He is the total package. Mox, on the other hand, he came from hardcore wrestling.
Right.
I like John Moxley. I think he's been a great addition to AEW. I don't think he's a technical master by any shade of the
imagination. He's found his
imagination.
lane and he stays in it well.
Exactly. And he's in an area now that WWE would never let him go.
Oh yeah.
For some reason, I think he's kind of making a play as a Stone Cold Steve Austin type gimmick, and just that was just never going to fly in WWE because there's only one.
Right. So
I think that's why he gets to do this now, and it's fun.
Yeah.
Really, really great match. Now, the go home on this is spectacular. It reminded me of being a little kid watching Worldwide.
I get you, yeah.
Wardlow jumps up on the apron.
God, that name. All right, continue.
What's wrong with Wardlow?
Say it out loud again.
Wardlow.
Yeah, what's wrong with that?
That sounds great.
Uh-huh.
It's almost regal, don't you think?
No. You know what sounds regal?
What?
Regal.
Well, I don't agree with that. So Wardlow gets up on the ring to distract the ref. Mm-hmm. As the ref turns and he's, hey, you get off the ring, he grabs the diamond ring and underhandedly shoots it around the ref to Moxley. I mean, not Moxley, MJF.
Yeah.
MJF, Crimson Mask, starts crawling towards the ring, but Moxley catches him.
Oh, yeah.
And there's a stare down. There's a buh. And the ref is still distracted. Moxley hits MJF with the paradigm shift, the move that was supposed to be banned from this match, or he would lose the title. But the ref didn't see it.
So by law, it didn't happen.
Right. For the 1, 2, 3. Interesting that there was only one finisher in this match.
Weird. Weird how that makes it seem more decisive when it's called a finisher.
But such a fantastic match.
Yep.
Wonder how that could be. Anyway, just I can't say enough good things about this match. And those two, it's the technical prowess versus the brawler. It just, does it get any better than that? And I don't care.
In wrestling, that's a tale as old as time.
Right. And you can flip that. You can make the brawler versus and it's going to be the same match. Face, heel, face. It's all good. God, such a great match. 4.5 Meltzers.
Absolutely.
For this. And hashtag and still Jon Moxley.
Yeah, he is still Jon Moxley.
Yeah. Yeah.
Can I say something? You weren't in the room when I said this.
Yes.
The splash graphic they had for this match, especially with the way they had MJF's face on it, he looked like a thinner Samoa Joe in that graphic. He kind of. I mean, it's.
I'm gonna have to go back and look.
You might, yeah. It's just I just said it out loud. It just kind of struck me. I was like, but yeah, it's just not even as an insult. I was just kind of stuck on it for a second.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's our pay-per-view. Overall, there's too many botches. There's too many serious botches in here to give this.
The Hardy incident, we'll call it, really drags it down.
Really brings it down. I am giving this.
Man, the highs are high and the lows are low.
Yeah, it really is. I mean, no matter how great the main event was.
And the majesty that was that Dennis match.
Good thing that never happened. I have to give this
you
thing.
Didn't watch it 5 times.
I'll never forgive myself for. I mean, you would think.
Why would you do that to yourself?
I mean, you would think I would suicidal, wouldn't you? I mean, it's. Kara came in the other night, and I'm watching it again, and she's like, "Do you need to talk about something?" Because I'm here for you, babe. I love you. And I was.
Wait a minute.
And I just a little tear just came down my cheek, and I was like, I don't want to talk to anybody, and I just ran out the door and just leave me alone.
This is the worst Lifetime movie I have ever heard someone pitch.
We're the best. Hold on.
And I would pay conservatively $10 million to make this.
Absolutely. God. And if I had $10 million, David Hensley, you would never see me again. I promise you that.
No, you would see updates on Facebook.
Right.
No, we'd see updates through Facebook from his TikTok.
You're damn right.
Went on a tangent.
And I'll be doing the dances then.
That's fair. What do you have to worry about? You're a millionaire.
Savage love. I don't know the song, but I'll learn it. I'm gonna do all that.
Help. How did this turn into my cry for help?
Chicken wing, hot dog and bologna, all that stuff. I'm doing all that thing, man. I'm doing that whole. I'm gonna do the whole thing. It's gonna be awesome. I'll be TikTok famous.
I would crowdfund
and
this.
A millionaire on my island. Yeah. So, man, let's go to best dressed of the night. Fashion plate. What do you have for us?
Oh, I think simplicity is key sometimes, and it doesn't. Just sometimes just the basics can make a statement. So definitely, it's going to be Orange Cassidy.
Absolutely,
I'm not biased.
Not?
I'm not biased at all.
No, I can dig that. Actually,
although close second is FTR and Tully with their matching jackets.
I thought about them for a minute, but I'm actually going with Dustin Rhodes. And the makeup and the purple this time looked pretty damn good.
It did. The only thing I would knock points for is there are so many people rocking the half face paint now.
Right.
There was at least 3. There was Darby, Dustin, and Thunder Rosa that night.
That's true, but Yeah,
I mean,
Dustin's doing it first.
He's been doing it for a minute. I'm sure the others have been too. Darby's been doing it since he got there too.
Sure. What did you say you had down for best dressed?
Orange Cassidy.
That's right. You did say Orange Cassidy.
I did say Orange Cassidy.
Now, what do you have for the worst dressed of the night?
Worst dressed.
Oh God, even Thunder Rosa was half in, half in on the paint.
Yeah.
Wow.
But worst. Honestly, everyone's look didn't seem too out of place.
Right.
Um,
I'm not stalling for time. Shut up.
It's
Honestly,
like
I don't.
you didn't know that this bit was coming.
I never see it coming.
Yeah.
I'm never
I'll
prepared
tell you
for it.
mine.
Okay.
Mine is Dr. Britt Baker, DDS.
You are biased.
Well, because she had a wrestling gear top, and then she had the white coat on, but then she was wearing jeans. Okay, now look, you're either wearing gear or you're not.
Maybe they filmed it on a Friday.
No, casual Friday does not work. You don't get to wear wrestling gear and jeans.
Well, she was in her office, and that's her office, her rules, and it's just
it. Not on my watch. You're either here to wrestle or you're here to brawl. If you're here to brawl, you wear jeans, but you don't wear wrestling top.
I'll be honest. The first Dark Order tag team probably was the least best dressed.
Right now,
because I mean, it was just there was nothing to it. It kind of made it very obvious that they were jobberish.
Yeah, because I want to say it. And I'll have to go back and look, but I think it was like 4 and 5 because they have numbers.
Yeah.
And I want to say it was John Silver, might have been.
Maybe.
I know he's. I know he's a 5.
As you'll notice, I mean, in the other Dark Order match, they all had something very distinctive on.
True. Well, David Hensley, what do you have for your best performance?
So, best performance. I am very tempted to give it to Orange Cassidy just because I am such a big mark for him.
Absolutely.
Which, in all the time I've been watching wrestling with you now, I never thought that I would actually have a favorite wrestler or call myself a mark for one. But as much as I love Cassidy in that match and the match as a whole, I'm going to get heat for this probably, but with Jericho.
No, I can buy it.
Why wouldn't you?
The way he sold that pre-match interview, putting over himself and Orange Cassidy, I just thought it was great.
It was great. The way he was, I have brought him up to main event status.
And that's exactly what Jericho is there to do in reality.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Now, what do you have for worst performance?
As
if I didn't know what you were going to say.
What do you think I'm going to say?
I feel like it's got to be the Broken Rules match.
No, I can't. Well, whenever we talk about best performances, I always feel like I should specify, and I always forget to, that when I talk about best performances, I'm talking not about physical athleticism.
She wasn't even there that night.
Hey, sir.
I do. Well, and this relates to what I'm saying. Whenever we talk about best and worst performances, I'm talking about the acting angle.
Sure.
So, for example, Bayley is a very good wrestler.
Absolutely, without question.
She's got the athleticism, the physicality. She's a technical worker. She knows what she's doing. But if you hand her a mic and ask her to do an interview, she's gonna fuck it up.
Well, at least in her current gimmick.
Yeah.
No, I mean, even when she was face, we allowed it because she had the little pigtail thing and that was on the side, and it was cute.
Yeah, she was adorable.
We allowed it to go on.
Yeah, now she's Aunt Bayley, who does terrible interviews where she tries to be a heel.
And has a little line in the afternoon.
Yeah, that's not what we're talking about. Fuck you. I cannot fault any of the performances in the Guevara and Hardy match just because I don't feel like there were any.
And after that table, Matt was not acting.
No, Matt wasn't acting.
No.
Actually, honestly, I could give best to Guevara because Guevara is trying
Oh yeah,
to keep that match going. Like he is.
Yeah, his stalling with "Hold Me Back" was.
Yeah, exactly. Just trying to keep the match going without actually having to go and wrestle Hardy. I thought worked. So, but I don't want to disparage Hardy considering the circumstances of what happened. I don't have a worst.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Nothing is as glaringly.
Not even Big Swole?
Well, and I think part of what this comes down to is also I only watched it technically only once, and
True.
I didn't I didn't see the entire thing.
Right on.
But there was nothing as glaringly obvious to me that it came off as bad as there are with a lot of the WWE pay-per-views.
Very true. Very true. Yeah.
I think what helps is they're a bit more hands off with how they let them handle their characters.
Yeah. Now I think mine's pretty easy. I'm Big Swole. Worst performance all the way. It's
But she is best audience member. I will say that.
yeah. So that's gonna do it for us, guys.
So.
I had some more stuff that I did want to talk about. I gotta do the our top 10 list that I almost forgot.
Nah, crap, he remembered.
Yeah, that's right. I'm actually gonna, as per request by Katie Bearden, I'm gonna start putting these on the gram, so that you can all follow along at home. And what fun that must be for all of you. So we're gonna start. How dare you, sir? This is a
Can't hear you. I'm asleep.
This is a complex rating system and deserves your respect.
How often is John Morrison on that one?
He's not.
This time.
But I had to look. For some reason, he has been in the top 10 for a while.
That's what you kept saying. It just made me laugh.
So we're going to start here at number 10. Now, this is updated as early as this past Tuesday. So we don't have the new recordings in from Dynamite yet. But number 10 comes in. We have the Monday Night Messiah, Seth Rollins. Number 9, Cody Rhodes. Number 8, your new Universal Champion, Roman Reigns. Next, we have Aleister Black. Aleister Black has remained in the top 10 this entire year, and it's because he has quietly gotten more wins, almost more wins than Drew McIntyre. He has lost twice this year, and those were triple threat matches. So, very, it's crazy. Now, let's see, 1, 2, 3. Number 6, we have Randy Orton. Number 5 is MJF. Travesty, should be higher. Number 4
Tell your boy to win more.
This was his first defeat. How dare you, sir? Show respect.
No.
Number 4, we have the former Universal Champion Bray Wyatt. Number 3, our newly crowned NXT World Champion, the Prince, Finn Balor. Number 2 is still Jon Moxley. And number 1 is going to be our WWE Champion, Drew McIntyre. And I think he's going to be there to stay for the rest of the year. Going to the women's division now. Number 10, we have the EST of WWE, Bianca Belair. Number 9 is going to be Rhea Ripley. Number 8, Liv Morgan. Number 7, Dakota Kai. Number 6 is Shayna Baszler. Number 5, Lacey Evans. Number 4 is going to be our AEW Women's Champion, Hikaru Shida. Number 3 is our NXT Women's Champion, Io Shirai. Number 2 is David Hensley's favorite wrestler, Aunt Bailey. And the number 1 wrestler is going to be your Raw Women's Champion, Asuka.
Yes.
Now, moving into the tag teams. We have number 10. I'm surprised that these guys are still hanging on to a number 10 spot, but they are. Proud and Powerful. Number 9 is going to be the Inner Circle with Jericho and Hager. Number 8 is going, and here we go. Number 8 is going to be The Miz and Morrison.
You can't keep them away.
You can't keep them off this damn list. Number 7 is going to be your NXT Tag Team Champions, Breezango. Yeah, I know. Shocked me too. But yeah, they've been really great here as of late. You should give NXT a look. It's they've been holding their own.
That wasn't a look of shock. I'm fine with that.
Oh, okay. You turned around and looked. He's like, Breezango, you shitting me? That's the look surprised. That I got.
No, I was not. I wasn't an angry look. I was just surprised. Surprised, but not disappointed.
Right. Number 6 is going to be the team of Andrade and Garza, which I think may have broken up now. So that's going to affect things moving forward. Number 5 is still Tucky and Otis, Heavy Machinery. Number 4 is Shinsuke Nakamura and Cesaro, your SmackDown Tag Team Champions.
But for how long?
Who can say? Who can say? Number 3 are the Young Bucks. But again, for how long? Number 2 is Private Party or the Street Profits, whichever way you want to go with this. It's the Street Profits. And your number 1, can you guess who the number 1 tag team is?
I cannot.
Well, it's FTR.
Oh, okay.
Hands down, they beat out everybody by at least 30 points. So yeah, and plus with the win from Saturday, I think that FTR is going to be in that tag team spot, number 1 spot for the rest of the year, maybe even into next year. So that's our top 10 list for the 2 companies that we're working with currently.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's going to about do it for us, guys. Hensley, do we have anything else coming up next week?
Well, I think that brings an end to our a marathon of podcasts that we've been doing. This is like what happened back at the end of May and June when we had like 5 weeks of new continuous content.
Which feels like last year.
It really does. When is the next WWE pay-per-view? That's not until the end of the month, right?
Well, no, I think there is an NXT pay-per-view. I believe it's a UK, and that's coming up in a couple of weeks.
Mm-hmm. I think, yeah, Shelby told me about that.
And I think we've got one coming up in September, and I'm trying to think what that is. It's right on the tip of my tongue, too, and...
Well, we just released another Quentin Tarantino episode of Long Walk Talks, so we'll be doing an off-topic episode of that coming out next week. Chris, what's the WWE pay-per-view?
Clash of Champions.
That's right.
That's
and what's
right.
the date on
Clash.
That is September 27th. That's when it airs.
Okay, so
And then the
So
next-
we've couple weeks. We've got NXT, and
the
then
next, and then the next 2 are takeovers.
that's right.
October 4th and October 25th. Takeover and Takeover Dublin.
So we're going to have another run of content then.
Yep, in October.
Yeah, then November 1st, Hell in a Cell.
Wow.
Whoa! November 1st, Hell in a Cell. November 22nd, Survivor Series.
What?
What? No.
Yeah.
All right.
They're doing
well,
2 in November.
So,
Not within
yeah.
a week of each other this time.
So, yeah, another marathon.
Hell in
of,
a Cell and then Survivor Series. Guaranteeing us that one of them's going to be amazing and one of them's going to be jack shit.
Mm-hmm.
put in your bets on which is which.
Yeah.
So,
Or
Doggz,
worst case scenario, they split the difference.
So, Doggz, if people want to follow you online, where can they find you at?
You can go to This Is a Work podcast on Instagram, and you can find me there. And that's all.
Chris, how about you?
I am Chris the OK on Twitter.
Very nice. If you want to follow me personally, the best place to do that is Instagram at DB Hensley. If you want to follow this podcast on Twitter, you can do that at Long Walk Podcast. And on Facebook, you can follow us by searching Long Walk Podcasts. And for more of Long Walk Productions' original content and for prior episodes of the 3 shows on here, Long Walk Talks, This Is a Work, and This Is a Takeover, you can follow the links to the YouTube playlists in our show notes. So thank you very much for listening. If you enjoy the show, please make sure to leave us a rating and a review on whatever platform you are listening on.
And thank you guys very much for David Hensley and Chris the Fashion Plate Barnes.
This
is David Two Dogs Hayes saying, guys, if you got out of bed today and you had a job to go to and somebody that cares about you when you get back home, folks, this match is over and you just won via pinfall. Thank you very much for listening to This Is a Work.